Everybody, brother. We're going live.
We'll do it live.
This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host, Paul Bauer.
Happy Friday, folks. We are late as hell this morning. Everybody in the chat right now, I want you to say happy birthday to Nurse Chick. Actually, her birthday was yesterday, but she and I are going out tonight to celebrate. I made reservations. It's all planned out because, by God, that's what a man does. Her only job is to show up looking hot. Am I right, guys? Am I right? That's not what we're talking about today, though. We are continuing my series on the science of getting rich. If you're not familiar with this series, we're up to chapter 14 in this classic book by Wallace D. Wattles. It's a part of this trilogy, The Science of Getting Rich, The Science of Being Well, The Science of Being Great. This is a old school law of attraction book. It came out around 1910, 1911, depending on which source you check that on. But it's good. It's a very good. It predates Think and Grow Rich, which is also a very popular law of attraction book. An older law of attraction book that predates The Secret, right? And we've been going through this chapter by chapter, and I'm not reading it verbatim. I'm basically going through the key concepts in each chapter, and then, sprinkling my own experiences on that, my own information on that, and trying to make it make sense to you, right? If you don't have the book, though, I highly recommend getting it, at least on Audible. It's a very short book. This book looks like it's a decent sized book, but it's 3 books in one, right? So the Science of Getting Rich is only like this much. So it's like maybe a 2-hour listen on Audible. But I encourage you to at least go through the book as we're going through this course. There's only a couple chapters left. The chapter, I'm probably going to do chapter 16 and 17 in a single episode, because chapter 17 is really just sort of like final thoughts. It's not even, worth doing a whole episode on, I don't think. We'll see when we get there, though. But yeah, so after this episode, I think, we should only have 2 left, 3 at most. And it's funny, this is one of my favorite series. It's actually fun to do this, and law of attraction is one of my favorite topics. And I've seen it work so much in my life, I can't deny its existence, right? But these episodes don't do numbers. they don't get the ratings, you know what I mean? I'm hoping that that this series is a slow burn, right? That people find it eventually, and they gain traction down the road, like kind of like Ryan Stone's Sidebar series. Like when he put those out, I don't think they did a lot of traction, but now it's his most popular videos. So we'll see. Time will tell. We'll see how algorithms help things out. Let's see here. We are up to chapter 14 in The Science of Getting Rich, which is on the impression of increase. The impression of increase. What the hell is that, Paul? I'll get to that. But first, be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications, please. You should know what to do by now. If you guys are in the live chat right now, please drop a comment. If you guys are watching on Facebook, sound off on Facebook too. I can actually bring your comments up on the screen if you're watching on Facebook. I don't know if I'm going to hit my goal of 20,000 followers on Facebook today. That would be cool, but it's probably not likely. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Actually, Wednesday's episode got a lot of views on Facebook, which is good. It's good that people on Facebook are starting to tune into this stuff. What else do we got here? Guys, don't be stingy with the super chats. If you guys are watching on Facebook, you can donate to the show in the description. There's a link for a one-time donation. I don't think you can send super chats on Facebook, but if you guys are watching on YouTube, don't be stingy with those super chats. Okay. That helps support the show probably more than anything else. All right, guys, let's get into this today. The first key concept in chapter 14 is the certain way, right? We've been learning about the certain way, acting in the certain way, thinking in the certain way this whole time, right? He's been mentioning this pretty much in every chapter. So this is still a key concept. So this refers to a specific approach or method of constructive action outlined in the chapter, which is proposed as a means to achieve success in one's endeavors. Your coffee tastes better in one of these mugs, guys. So Wattles says that your actions must always pertain to the business at hand in the present, whether you are planning on changing careers eventually down the road, right? You still need to make your actions now in the present for the job you're currently in. Okay. Good example of this, great example of this is while I'm building my podcast business, I must also make sure not to neglect my day job. Okay. I still have to make the deadlines of my day job. You know what I mean? I still have to attend those meetings. I still have to, create deliverables and whatever. Okay. For now. All right. But while doing my day job stuff, I keep my mental focus on achieving my goal of making the podcast self-sustainable. Okay. Which gives me tasks to do for that job as well. Right. Like you guys see clips every day. You guys probably, you guys don't realize this, right? A lot of content creators out there, the big names, they have clips that go out, but they're not putting that stuff out themselves, right? They hire people to do that. I tried that for a little bit. And my guy was making really good clips. And at the same time as he was making clips, I was making clips. I was still making them myself. And the unfortunate situation with that is he got so busy that he couldn't make deadlines anymore. So I was like, I can't do this, man. I got deadlines, I've got episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that means that Monday's clips need to go out Monday and Tuesday, like clockwork. And if you're delivering them to me on like Wednesday and Thursday, like that's no good because I want people there, that day. So you'll see that like I'm posting clips every day. I'm making those myself every day. You know what I mean? I'm putting that grind in. All the posts on social media, that's me. I don't have a social media manager. That's me. I'm putting that stuff out there. Like I'm grinding at trying to get people to come to the show, right? Got to come to the show. And for you guys that are watching right now, smash that like button. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. So another good example is this whole week while I was working, I was working pretty much 16-hour days between day job, podcasting, coaching, because this podcast business is also a part of, I also have a coaching business on top of that. So I was doing all the coaching stuff. I was doing all the podcast stuff. And then I had my day job stuff. So I was working like 16 hours days. I had a coaching call last night. And I was telling that guy how, because one of the things that he and I are working on is him getting back into shape, And so one of the things I'm doing is I'm really just hounding him. I'm hounding him because he's one of those guys, and this isn't his fault. He just needs to build better habits, right? Build new habits, and he knows this. But he's just one of those guys that, if he's not feeling it, if he's just not feeling good, he doesn't work out that day, And so every day, as motivation, I'm posting my workouts in the chat with him, right? I'm like, hey man, I did my workout. Where's your workout? Right? Because I'm not going to ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do myself. So I'm working out every day. You're working out every day. Got it? Right? So every day I'm just hounding him. I'm hounding him. I don't have to do that. I don't have to follow up with him, but I want him to succeed. So I'm hounding his ass. And he's doing it. He's posting his deliverables to me, which is good. But when I had my conversation with him, I was telling him, I'm like, dude, I don't feel like working out. I'm working like 16 hours a day this week, but I'm still getting it in. There was days this week where I was working out at like midnight because I was like, fuck, I haven't gotten my calisthenics in tonight. I gotta fucking do it. So I fucking not banged it out right before bedtime. You know what I mean? But I get it in. No excuses, right? Eventually I'll get to a tipping point where it makes more sense to go all in on my podcast business. Right. And I'll have to retire from IT. Like that day is just around the corner too. And I could smell it. I could taste it. I have so many raindrops over the last several months, it's just undeniable for me, right? And we get to a point when we're following this process of doing things in the certain way where we get too big for our current position and we have no choice but to expand into the new position. You know what I mean? And that's just following this process, right? Doing consistent daily tasks to get to our goals. Okay. The next concept here, we got a lot of people chatting here. I see a lot of comments. I'll get to you guys here in a minute. The next concept here is mindset of increase. The chapter describes the mindset of continuously seeking advancement and growth, highlighting the inherent human nature for improvement and expansion in various aspects of life. So Wattles says, in all your dealings with others, you must constantly be conveying to their minds the concept of increase, right? Which is the title of the chapter, right? The impression of increase. You've got to constantly be conveying to their minds, the people that you're dealing with, the concept of increase. What does he mean by that? He basically describes it as the feeling of endless expression. We must always be growing and evolving. Okay. And I've mentioned in previous streams, but the phrase, or I should say the quote by William S. Burroughs of when you stop growing, you start dying. That's essentially what he's talking about. When you stop growing, you start dying. Okay. He says the desire to increase can be seen throughout nature. It's the fundamental impulse of the universe. And so I looked this up. I looked this up last night. The very universe itself is expanding at a rate of 41.9 miles per second per megaparsec, according to scientists. The universe itself is expanding, right? So you too must expand it. I'm not talking about expand, right? Don't be eating cheeseburgers. I'm talking about expanding your mind, expanding your skill set, expanding where you are. Okay. A lot of us tend to get complacent. We want to stay where we're at. I was telling my son on my way to school this morning, which is one of the reasons why I was late. But I was telling my son this morning that when I got out of the Navy, man, I wasn't that ambitious. You know, I got a job as a private security guard, and man, there's the private security is such a lazy job. There's nothing to do. You basically sit around, and once an hour you go around and you know, hit little detext buttons with a little wand that shit logs that you walked around. The rest of the time you're sitting there reading a book, working on homework, surfing the internet, you know, listening to radio, like whatever. You're not doing real work, you know? And so I was happy to be in that spot, you know, but it was my my now ex-wife that kind of pushed me to make sure I went to college, she got my foot into the door in IT. And she sort of helped motivate me to do better. And now I'm fucking killing it at life. She's not doing it so much, but that's neither here nor there. I'm grateful for that push, you know, because sometimes we don't realize our potential until someone pushes us, you know, right? To do better. And then once you start doing better, you're like, oh, why the hell was I being a lazy bastard to begin with? You know? It's interesting. Sometimes we mentally get stuck where we're at. And sometimes we need someone else to sort of point us in the right direction so we get unstuck and we start growing again. Now he says humans as a whole are always looking for increase. Right? More food, better clothes, bigger houses. You get the point. One of my 3% brothers in the 3% Brotherhood, it was really quiet in the 3% Brotherhood. In fact, 3% Brotherhood, if you guys are watching this, what the hell are you guys doing with yourselves? You guys don't post in there anymore. No one's interacting. It's like a dead group. You know, Beer Club has less guys in it, but way more activity. But so I don't know what you guys are up to, but I posted in the group the other day. I was like, guys, it's quiet as hell in here. What are you guys doing to work on your purpose right now? And one of the guys in the group said he's working on selling his house so he can move into a bigger house, right? So he's trying to increase his living space, you know? I told him it's time to move into a mansion, huh? And he's like, not quite, just a bigger house, you know? So humans are always trying to do that. Wattles says where increase of life ceases, dissolution of death set in at once, or death. Paul, you need more coffee. Wattles says, where increase of life ceases, dissolution and death set in at once. So I wonder where Burroughs got his quote. Right? Burroughs says, right, when you stop growing, you start dying. That's a much simpler way of saying where increase of life ceases, dissolution and death set in at once, right? I think Burroughs got that from Wattles and simplified it. What do you guys think? All right, we got a lot of people in the chat this morning. Oh, we got some super chats too. All right, let's scroll up. We got a lot here. Let's see. Yes, Wattles. Mr. Rog says Wattles. It's actually Wattles. We've gone over this. Let's see here. Let's see here. Add boobs to the title and more people will watch. Oh, yeah, sex does sell. Nathan says we all love boobs. Kamal says this is invaluable information which more people would implement in their lives. Yeah, and I say it all the time. Like once you get your mind right, everything else falls into place. This is the reason why I made my course, The Practical Law of Attraction, the first course I put out, because if you master that, all this other stuff goes away, right? All this other stuff will sort itself out. It's fascinating. But a lot of guys, they sort of brush this off like it's not important. Like there's nothing more important than inner game. And it could be considered inner game. You know what I mean? CW says boobs are always good motivators. Oh yeah. And books too. God, now it's boobs and books. Okay, that's where this conversation has devolved to. Boobs and books. Jeez, guys. All right. Let's see here. Kamal says, it's like when you are consistently working towards your goals, you build a snowball that rolls down the hill and keeps getting bigger, just like your podcast will soon get massive. Yeah, I can feel it too, man. I can feel it too. We are well past the 8-minute mark, so let's get to these super chats here. Brother Nathan sent a $2 super chat. He gets, it's more like a super sticker, but this guy, he gets this one.
I was just going to say it. This guy fucks. Am I right?
Definitely fucks. And then CW sent a $5 super chat. Get in the beer club, gents. Paul, you're awesome. No, you're awesome, CW. You get Elena. We'll give you Elena today.
Shame this horse.
Shame these horse. All right, we've got a lot of stuff in here. Mr. Wrong says Burroughs got his quotes from heroin. Okay, maybe. All right, guys. Before we get too far into this, or we continue with this rather, let's do this. Why don't you guys follow me on social media? The links are in the description there. Get on the email list.comeonmanpod.com. I have been like really consistently building up my social medias, but I've been banned from TikTok once. I'm on my third account there. My second account's completely shadow banned. My third account, it's on an account warning, but it started growing again. I did a duet with some chick like day before yesterday. It's hit 1.4 million views in 1 day. It's probably at 2 million right now. I haven't checked. And that video alone got me over the 8,000 follower jail I've been in for the last year and a half on that stupid app. So the thing is, I don't control these platforms. I don't control YouTube. I don't control Facebook. I don't control Twitter. I don't control Instagram. I don't control TikTok. So at any given moment, the powers that be can shut me down. And that's why I created the email list so I could contact you guys with that stuff. As an incentive, you get free stickers, you get 20 dating app openers, and you also get a free chapter of my book, Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18. So if you've been thinking about getting the book and you want to know some of the content in there and see if that's something you want to invest your money in, get the free chapter if you go to list.comeonmanpod.com. If you don't want the stickers, just put don't want stickers in the address field and I won't waste a stamp on you. I'm not trying to collect people's physical addresses. Okay. And then speaking of my book, you can get that on Amazon at books.comeonmanpod.com. You can also get an autographed copy from me. It's the same price. Actually, the hardcovers are cheaper through me. So if you like hardcover books, get one through me, and I'll drop a link in the chat there. It's also in the description. But otherwise, you can go to Amazon. I have here books.comeonmanpod.com. you can get the Audible version there, the Kindle edition. If you guys have like an Audible or Kindle subscription, consider using your credits on my book the next time you go through there. All right. And then finally, all this stuff we're talking about with Wallace D. Wattles is the law of attraction. And so I created a course last year, the practical law of attraction. It gets rid of all the chick crack, all the spiritual woo woo, and it gets rid of all the quantum theory with it and breaks it down into simple steps that you can start using today to start achieving results. It's explained from the psychological perspective, not the spiritual one, not the quantum theory one. So a lot of people dismiss this stuff because they're like, that doesn't make any sense. That they're, the atheists are the worst about it, I think. But when it comes to the quantum theory stuff, a lot of people just can't wrap their brains around it. It's pretty complicated stuff. So I get rid of all that and simplify it. Check that out. I will be posting another flash sale, I think, today sometime. So watch social media for that, where you can save 25% off. But yeah, you can go to loa.comeonmanpod.com at any time to take the course, but watch social media today for a discount on that. Let me play a commercial for that, and then we'll continue with the discussion. Are you struggling to find a good quality woman? They are very rare indeed these days. If you spend any time at all watching content in the men's podcast space, or you spend time on dating apps or going out to clubs, you're seeing low quality, promiscuous women. You're finding women with daddy issues and personality disorders, or a myriad of other red flags, and you are frustrated. I get it, brother, but what if I were to tell you that the reason why you're only seeing these types of women is because of your mindset, because of your paradigm? We get what we focus on in life, and you have trained your mind to focus on the type of women that you don't want. So those are the types of women that keep showing up for you again and again. Let's change that mindset today. If you're a guy looking to attract high-quality, submissive women into your life, then I've got the perfect solution for you. And let me tell you, brother, it's all about mindset. That's right, you've got to reprogram your thinking to focus on the type of women you do want. That's where my practical law of attraction course comes in. It's packed with proven psychology-based techniques that will help you manifest your dream woman. Trust me, you won't find this stuff anywhere else. Explained in such a simple, easy-to-use way. And let me tell you, when you start using these methods, you'll be amazed at how quickly things start changing for you. Picture this, you're out on the town, feeling confident and magnetic. All the women are drawn to you like moths to a flame. And best of all, you're attracting the type of women that are submissive and high quality. It's not that they weren't there before, it's that you weren't aware of them before. My course will teach you how to be more hyper aware of the kind of women that you actually want. It will teach you to believe that you're the most attractive man around. And when you believe it, you'll carry yourself that way. So what are you waiting for? Sign up for my course today. Visit loa.comeonmanpod.com. That's loa.comeonmanpod.com. Start living the life you've always dreamed of. Don't miss out on this opportunity to up your game and find the woman of your dreams. The law of attraction is nothing without action. So what are you waiting for? Act now. Act now, guys. All right, let's continue this here. So the next concept in the science of getting rich is the abundance principle. You guys follow the men's dating space a lot. They're always talking about having an abundant mindset, right? Having a mindset of abundance. Okay, so that's what they're talking about here. This principle underscores the belief in the availability of abundant resources and opportunities for all, emphasizing the fundamental impulse of the universe towards continuous expansion. So Wattles quotes the Bible, right? For you religious folks out there, Wattles quotes the Bible saying that Jesus taught this for you religious folks. This law of perpetual increase is set forth by Jesus in the parable of the talents, according to Wattles. So I looked it up. Matthew 25:29 in the NIV. I like the NIV version of the Bible if I'm going to read the Bible because it's in modern English. There's some people that are like, if it's not the King James, it ain't the Bible. Well, fun fact, the Bible's been edited a lot. It's been condensed. It's got things taken out of it. So what is the correct Bible, really? If you really get down to it, but we're not going to split hairs today. So Matthew 25:29 in the NIV says, whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. So in the law of attraction, this is why you must believe you have things already, whether it's money, health, women, it doesn't matter. You have to believe you already have it. Okay. You have to believe you already have it. But most people don't, though, right? Most people focus on what they don't have. They focus on lack. They focus on limitation. They focus on their current situation and their past situation, right? And what keeps happening to them? If you're broke right now, you continue to be broke because all you're doing is focusing on what you don't have. I don't have money. I don't have money. I don't have money. I don't have money. So your subconscious mind keeps you there, keeps you not having money. Anytime money comes in, you immediately spend it on something, right? Right. But if you start focusing on you have money, I have money, I am rich, right? Just a little short on cash right now, but I am rich, right? You will become rich. You will start making more money. You will start seeing it in your life because you will start acting accordingly. You understand? You'll start getting ideas on how to manage your money better. You'll start getting on your ideas on how to make more money, maybe side hustles, whatever. You'll get ideas. You'll get an epiphany. Maybe I should look this up on YouTube today, right? That's how that works. When you change your mindset, your mind's a supercomputer. It starts figuring this stuff out for you. It's not magic. Okay. So believe you have it already and be grateful for having it, and you will be given more. All right. If you guys are religious right now, and then you're having a hard time believing what I'm saying because it's wrapped up in the law of attraction, it's in the Bible, right? Like I always say, for you religious people out there, the law of attraction is like the base layer, and then all the other religions are set on top of it, right? It's like the underlying principle of pretty much every religion out there. Okay, so if you are religious, it shouldn't be so hard to wrap your mind around this stuff. Okay. If you're not religious, check out my course. I explain it from a psychological perspective too. The Wattles says the desire for wealth is not evil like a lot of people think, right? It's simply a desire for a more abundant life. There's nothing evil about that. There's nothing evil about wanting a more abundant life, right? And that's really what money gives us. It gives us freedom. You know what I mean? Like you can take more trips, you can see the world better, you can experience all of creation more and better when you have money, right? The next concept here is the creative center. It refers to the concept of viewing oneself as the source of increase or abundance, capable of positively influencing others and contributing to their growth. So Wattles says to have unshakable faith that you yourself are the way of increase by letting your faith fill, inspire, and permeate every action that you do. And it's funny because there are days when I'm just grinding away, and I catch myself thinking, am I doing things right? Am I moving in the right direction? You know, it seems like I'm just doing the same thing every day. I do a podcast. I upload it to Opus Clips. I edit the clip. I post it to social media. You know, I'm just grinding away. Am I doing the right things? Am I doing things right? But my awareness is so strong right now, right? Because I've been practicing this stuff for so long. My awareness is so strong that I catch myself thinking those things. You know, I often catch myself thinking those things. I take a step back and take the third party perspective and go, wait a second, why are you thinking that? You're thinking about why, what you don't have right now. You're thinking about lack and limitation. You're doubting, you're having doubt and fear. And that doubt and fear and lack and limitation thinking is what keeps us where we're at. So you got to be aware of that. And it's okay to have those thoughts. It's human. You can't eliminate those thoughts, but I get those thoughts occasionally. But I'm aware of it, right? And so when I catch myself thinking that sort of thing, I take a step back and I shake it off and I reaffirm my faith that I am on the right path. I'm taking the necessary actions to achieve my goals, right? And for those of you who have been following me for a while, there's some new people here. I've gotten a lot of people following me on Facebook lately. Like my Facebook account has been growing pretty much at like, I don't know, 500 to 1,000 people a day. It's crazy growth. I'm grateful for it. But for you guys who have been following me for a while, you know that I have been achieving my goals, right? Because periodically I will post videos where I'm crossing things off my goal board. I keep a goal board over here and I write specific things on there, right? And one of those things, the last one I crossed off that I posted on social media was becoming an Amazon best-selling author, right? Because I released my book. In December, and within like a couple of weeks, I pre-sold. I released the pre-sale in November for the Kindle edition. And then within a couple of weeks of that, I was already an Amazon best-selling author. It was crazy. It was nuts. So I was able to cross that off my list because I had that written on my list for like 2 years to be an Amazon #1 best-selling author. And I achieved that goal, right? So this is really no bullshit. All right. This is no bullshit. I practice what I'm talking about. Okay. There's a lot of people that, they just have a hard time believing this stuff, but it's like when you implement it and you practice it and you're consistent with it, you too will start seeing it show up for you. And you'll be like, oh, that Paul guy's not full of shit at all. Like he knows exactly what he's fucking talking about. And I do. Hey, CW says, great book, Paul. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. If you guys have read the book, if you guys are one of the people that have read the book, be sure to review it on Amazon. It's funny because a lot of people, when they don't like something, they are very quick to write about it. They're like, I'm going to tell the whole world this thing sucks ass, right? But when someone likes something, they just go about their lives. It's so weird. I wish it was the opposite, right? If people love something, they're like, I have to write a review for this. It's not how it is. You have to consistently remind people like, hey, man, have you written a review? Because I could really use that. If you like the book, if you like the book and got value out of it, please write a review. And people are like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. It's okay. It's okay. Just giving you a reminder. Guys, join the beer club, beer.comeonmanpod.com. It's a good social group of like-minded guys, right? It's just a group of guys that are just leveling up in all areas of their life, right? And it's only for men. Because the problem with getting women involved in men's spaces is men start to self-censor themselves, right? They don't want to offend the girl. It changes the whole dynamic, right? Some guys start hitting on the girl and then it just makes shit awkward, right? It's like, okay, no women. Let's just talk about guy shit, right? And a lot of guys, they don't have that kind of outlet, right? Men's spaces have largely been devolving over time. Can't just have men's clubs anymore, right? Get the women's rights groups have come in and ruin that, right? But guys need other men. Men need other men. We need a tribe. We need that, and we need an outlet for stuff like our negative emotions, and we need to be able to talk things through with other guys. Your girl's not for that. A lot of guys think that their girl is their best friend, their confidant, and they start laying all their problems on their girl, and the girl's like, oh, yeah, honey. Yeah. I'm there for you. Right. And I think at first women, they like that and they think they want that. And they think they think that's the right thing to do, but their evolutionary biology and their evolutionary psychology can't stand that for too long. So if you're constantly doing that, I have a guy in the space that I respect a lot and I like him. He and I have a lot of differing viewpoints. He's going to be on an upcoming episode, I think on the 18th. Tune into that episode though, right? It's Rudy from Root Advice. Cause one of the things that he's talking about is he's getting married. He's getting remarried, good for him. And he's talking about how his wife is his fiance is his confidant. She's his rock. When he's having emotional problems, she's there for him. And I'm in my head, like, I don't want to argue with him and I can't you can't red pill people that don't want to be red pilled, right? But in my head, I'm thinking, man, you gotta find a different outlet for that, because she's only going to tolerate that for so long before she sees it as weakness, and she's going to lose attraction for you, and eventually your relationship's going to erode, right? And that happens to a lot of people, a lot of men, because they don't have an outlet like beer club to come and talk to like-minded guys and not put their burdens on their woman, because that's not her job. She doesn't want that job. You know what I mean? So join the beer club, guys. It's like, if you sign up for a year, it's $8 a month, right? And then we have monthly video calls for that. That was a really long explanation of beer club, but I haven't really talked about it in a while. So we'll see. Anyway, and then if you guys want to work with me directly, you can at coaching.comeonmanpod.com. We'll leave it at that today. All right, guys, let's get through let's see. We got some comments here. What's it? Yes, CW says, bring your issues to the guys. Goddamn right. We had 2 guys join recently. One guy, or they were both going through breakups, and one guy, he let his membership lapse, and so he sort of left the group. And then he came back like a couple of weeks later asking to rejoin the group. And I was like, yeah, man, here's the link to rejoin. I don't know what happened with that. But the other guy, he's doing really good. He was he was going through a pretty nasty breakup. His girl like basically already had an orbiter lined up, and as soon as he was like, I think we're going to end things, she immediately slept with that other guy. So, that's a tough pill to swallow. But the boys were there for him in beer club. They came up with a game plan for him, and he executed on it. And it was good, because once guys have a plan, it's much easier for us to move forward, but sometimes we're lost in our emotions. We can't think of a plan ourselves, and the boy's good for that. Hey, what's up, Mish? Mish Chat of Arabia has graced us with his presence. Thank you, brother. All right, let's talk about advancing personality. So the chapter reflects the idea of projecting an impression of advancement and progress to others, fostering a sense of confidence and attraction in personal and professional interactions. So Wattles says to feel that you are getting rich, and in doing so, you are an advancing personality, and that you are advancing everybody, right? So if you feel like you're getting rich, you're going to put out a vibe. You're going to put out a vibe that you're an advancing personality and that you're advancing everybody. And he says that you need to feel that you are getting rich, and in doing so, you are conferring benefits to all. So you need to feel like by getting rich, you are conferring benefits, right? That's what he's basically saying. He's got a weird way of writing stuff. Oh, let's see here. We say, hey, Paul, got off work and found the stream. Hey, hell yeah. Let us effing go. Let us do that. All right. He says, when dealing with others, you have to impress upon them that when dealing with you, they will increase for themselves. Okay. By dealing with me, you're going to benefit, right? Essentially, you have to give value. And when people feel like they are getting value from you, they will continue to do business with you, right? Makes sense. Makes sense, right? How many times do you stop doing business when you feel like you're getting ripped off? How many times, right? Every time. If you feel like you're getting jerked around, you stop doing business. You go with the competitor, don't you? We all do, right? But how many of you are more willing to do business with people you feel like are giving you way more back than you're spending, right? Customer service is a good example of this. If you go to a restaurant and the service is impeccable, you're willing to spend a little bit more on that steak, aren't you? Right? You're like, if I go to this place, the steak's okay, or the steak's pretty good, but they treat me like shit there. It takes them forever to bring the food to my table. Like, you're not getting that value. You know what I mean? You're like, I might as well cook for myself, for fuck's sakes, right? So you stop going to that place. You stop going to that restaurant. And then you go to the restaurant where they have impeccable service and they're there on time and they're refilling your water all the time, right? You go to places that give you value. So people are way more likely to spend more to get a better experience of customer service, right? And good customer service is rare these days. Like, this generation, like, doesn't believe in customer service at all. They don't believe that the customer's always right. How many, like, when you call a place, I cannot stand phone support for the most part. You call a place, how many times, like, do you just get jerked around and put on hold and put in a fucking like auto queue and stuff like that? And you're just like, Jesus Christ, can I just talk to a fucking operator? Right? Like it's gone. The days of customer service and like white glove service is gone, you know? And when you find it, it's like, I'm sticking with this company. Right? If you ever start a business, make sure that customer service is like a top priority for you, because it's a lost art and it's like the one thing that will separate you from everybody else. FYI. Value creation is the next concept. It emphasizes the importance of providing value to others that exceeds the monetary transaction, fostering long-term relationships and attracting customers through the perception of mutual benefit. So Wattles says that when you take an honest pride in giving value to people, and you're giving them value that is greater than the cash value they are paying, and everyone starts to learn about it, you'll have no shortage of customers. You'll have no shortage of customers. It's sort of the word of mouth, right? Word of mouth is the greatest advertising you can get, because a lot of people base their opinions on other people's experiences, right? That's why I ask you guys to, if you guys have read the book, to write a review on Amazon, because a lot of people, in order to think that they want to maybe get this book, the first thing they do is go down to the reviews. What are other people saying about this book, right? If all the reviews are good, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, sounds like a good book. Sounds like I can use that in my life, and they'll buy it, right? Because other people have, it's kind of like the pre-selection thing, right? So if you're giving people good value and good service, and people are genuinely getting good, whatever from you, whatever your product is. My product is information, right? Other people start talking about it, and then that sort of attracts other people to you. Okay. It's not magic. It's not magic. The universe itself will start moving people towards you, because you are increasing life for others, and the universe values increase in life above everything, according to Wattles. Is that true? Is it the universe that's driving you guys here? Or did you hear about it somewhere? Right? Maybe was it the universe that told you about it? I don't know. People that have never heard of you will be attracted to you and what you offer, but they'll come to see what you got to offer, and they'll buy from you, right? Y'all watching right now didn't even realize that the universe brought you here. Did you? Maybe it did. Maybe the universe brought you here to watch right now. Something to think about. Why did you show up today, right? Vision and purpose, right? Highlights the significance of maintaining a clear vision of personal and professional goals, coupled with unwavering faith and determination to achieve them. So Wattles says, through all of this, you must never lose vision of what you want and your faith and purpose to get what you want. Vision of what you want. What you want. Right? That's a very red pill thing to think about, if when you get down to it. It's very red pill. What do you want? Right? It comes back to you and your goals and your vision. You being your mental point of origin. Yes? But Paul, Rollis' law of attraction's chick crack. Yeah. Right? But it also teaches mental point of origin, right? You being your mental point of origin, right? You are the creator of your world. Okay. One of the things that I love about law of attraction is that it puts you in the driver's seat of your life, right? It puts you in the driver's seat of your life, right? When you master the stuff, life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. Okay. You are in control. You can write your own story. You get to be the main character, not just an extra in someone else's movie. Okay. When you master this stuff, you take control of your life and you realize it's all in your hands, right? Another red pill saying, right? No one's coming to save you, right? They are, but you're going to attract it to them. They're going to be attracted to you, right? But you can't expect it. You can't expect it. Man, we got a lot of ways to go, but we're only at 44 minutes. Okay. So we might be like right on time, or we might go over today, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a short episode. So that's good. Ethical conduct and motives. So Wattles warns against the temptation to seek power over others for selfish gratification, advocating instead for ethical conduct and motives rooted in the common good. So Wattles talks about how our history is littered with kings and emperors that sought power over others, and how the earth has been drenched with blood from these people to extend their dominions, right? And he compares it to the business world of his time, which was back in the 1900s. He was basically saying that's how business is done back in the 1900s, right? It was very cutthroat. There was a lot of monopolies back then around the turn of the century, right? People were just, wiping out the competition, that sort of thing. It's not too different than how it is now, except for like the companies aren't allowed to be monopolies anymore, but they still are. You know what I mean? Like the mainstream media is basically a monopoly. It's basically owned by I think like 3 companies owns all mainstream media, and then they all work together. So it's essentially just like one group. They just hide it better. You can also see it in the manosphere. Right? The competition in the manosphere. There's a lot of beefing and competitive nature of some of the bigger players in the space, right? Personally, I think it's kind of unnecessary, because I think there's more than enough to go around. There's more than enough men that need help. What I found in my own personal journey, right, of reading this stuff, studying this stuff, whether it's law of attraction, whether it's red pill, whether it's financial literacy, I found that, and I think most of you guys are probably the same way, right? Where when you want to learn something, you start reading multiple books on the subject, right? You read The Rational Male, you read Ryan Stone's praxeology books, right? You read my book, you read Clary's books. And so there's more than enough to go around, because they don't just want to read just one book, right? So everybody's got a book. So let's read all this. That book sounds interesting. Let me read that one. Maybe I can learn something new from that book, right? So there's more than enough to go around. There's no reason to be competitive about it. There's 4 billion dudes on the planet. Right? And only 20,000 or so are subscribed to my YouTube channel. So what are you guys waiting for? The rest of you 4 billion, let's get in here. There's more than enough to go around. There's no need for the beefs and stuff like that, but that's on them. I'm not going to get into it. Avoidance of competitive mindset. So advises against adopting a competitive mindset focused solely on seeking authority and dominance over others, emphasizing the superiority of creative action over the competitive mindset. So Wattles says that the mind that seeks for mastery over others is the competitive mind, not the creative mind, right? And in order to master your environment and your destiny, you don't have to be a master of others. So getting rich with the competitive mind, it's possible, right? It's possible, but it ends up being a matter of luck and speculation, and you aren't going to keep that wealth in the long run, because someone bigger and better will eventually come and take it from you, right? Someone bigger and better will come along and take it from you, right? If you achieve your wealth from the competitive plane, there's always going to be someone better. There's always a bigger fish, right? Getting rich on the creative plane is the only certain way, right? We're doing things in the certain way. So getting rich on the creative plane is the only certain way of building wealth, helping others along the way, and keeping it, right? What do we got here? Plasmar 1. Hey, welcome to the channel. I don't think I've seen you here before. I agree with your take. The beefs and competition is the way, is beta at its nature. as it doesn't have an actual goal and is just attention seeking in disguise. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it tends to be, doesn't it? All right. The golden rule principle. So this is the final concept in this chapter, guys. The golden rule principle. Okay. So the chapter reiterates the importance of treating others with kindness and fairness, echoing the ethical principle of treating others as one wishes to be treated. So he does it. So like we all know, right? Like the golden rule is treat others the way you want to be treated. That's not what Wattles actually says though. At the end of the chapter, the golden rule in this case is from Samuel Milton Jones, whose nickname was Golden Rule Jones. I had to look this up because all Wattles says is, we need the mantra from Golden Rule Jones of Toledo, of blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, who's Golden Rule Jones of Toledo? He was a guy from the early 1900s that people would have recognized that name. None of y'all know who Golden Rule Toledo is, probably. Most of you guys probably don't. I sure as hell didn't. I had to look this up last night. So the golden rule in this case is from Samuel Milton Jones, whose nickname was Golden Rule Jones. He was the mayor of Toledo, Ohio from 1897 to 1904. So Wattles quotes him by saying that no better statement of the principle of creative action can be formulated by this quote from Golden Rule Jones, which is, what I want for myself, I want for everybody. All right. What I want for myself, I want for everybody. Okay. That's the creative mindset that you need to be in. Okay. All right, guys. I truly want for myself what I want for all you, right? That is one of my primary motivators of this podcast. Honestly, I've been on this journey for several years now, and so many people have helped me along the way. I just want to give back and pay it forward, right? So that's one of the reasons why I actually, when it comes to this law of attraction stuff, one of the things I crossed off my goal board was being on Rule 0, right? My original goal on my goal board was to be a guest, just be a guest on Rule 0 sometime. That would be cool. And it happened. Now it's coming up on 2 years, but I've been on the panel for over a year now. And what happened was they didn't invite me to be a guest. They invited me to be a panelist. Right. And what I like about that is that pretty much everybody on that panel, on the panel before I joined it, right. They were all people I learned from, so being able to sit under their learning tree directly, talk to them directly and work with them, man, it's been such a huge blessing. And I'm able to, I'm continuing learning from them, right? I'm almost done with Ryan's latest book. Phenomenal. He's got concepts in there I never even thought of before. I'm still learning from him. And I turn around and I want to teach it because I want to give back, right? What I'm learning, I want you to learn. Okay. That's what this podcast is about. And guys, let me tell you something. Life is so fucking sweet. Life is so fucking sweet on the other side, right? Once you've come over to the creative plane and you start increasing life and you start applying these principles and you start seeing it work in your life, dude, it's you can't go back. You can't go back, right? Once you get into that positive mindset and you're aware of it and you focus on it and you develop it and you foster it, you can't go back. You can't go back. It's life-changing. All right, guys. That's all we have for chapter 14 today. Be sure to tune into Rule 0 tomorrow. I have no idea who's hosting. It'll probably be me. I'm probably going to check the chat right after this, and no one's volunteered, and I'm going to have to go in there and be like, all right, guys, if no one wants it, I'll take it, right? Because that's how Rule 0 works. Watch the Dragon Ship right after Rule 0, though. I believe AJ from Armed Details will be hosting. I think he wants to talk about core competencies that men need to have, which should be good. I'm sure he's going to be talking about stuff like you got to, know how to fix certain things. I'm sure that's going to be the discussion, something like that. I don't have an outline yet, so I don't know for sure. I just know that's sort of the theme, right? Either way, definitely tune in Monday. So Monday, I will be live since I recently ran out of canned interviews, right? I came up on real time. I try not to do that, but I came up on real time with my interviews. I like to record interviews in advance. And I feel comfortable when I have like 2 months of interviews in advance. I didn't get that this time. So I came up on real time. The last Monday's episode, this past Monday's episode was like the last one I had in the can. So I recorded a couple of episodes this week. I was supposed to record 3. I only got 2 done. I was gonna actually have Mike Sartain on the podcast. His agent reached out to me and booked time on, I think we were going to do the interview on Wednesday, but he had to reschedule. So I don't know where that's at. He might not come back on the show. Who knows? I don't know. I don't care. So Monday's episode is going to be live. I figured, fuck it, we'll do it live. And I'm going to be going over the classic 9 iron rules of Tomasi Monday. There's always new guys to this space who aren't familiar with the basics. So it'll be good to go over them. And then for you guys that are familiar with the 9 iron rules, but haven't reviewed them in a while, it'll be good for a refresher, right? We'll break those down on Monday. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We actually had a pretty good turnout today. I appreciate you guys for showing up. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications if you haven't done so already. Guys, please, when you guys join these lives, sound off in the live, okay? It helps these go by much smoother. Thank you for everybody that participated in the live today. If you guys are watching during the replay, drop a comment below, your favorite emoji. It doesn't even matter. If you guys ever have questions and you're watching a replay, sound off in the comment section below. And then I'm always paying attention to comments. So I'll get back to you for sure. Thanks for the guys that sent super chats. That supports the show probably more than anything else. It's not too late. You guys can still send a super chat. Follow me on social media. The links are in the description. Get on the email list.comeonmanpod.com. I'll give you a bunch of free stuff for your troubles. Get my book at books.comeonmanpod.com. It's everything I wish I knew when I was 18. Talks about law of attraction in there. It talks about career choices. It talks about how to advance yourself in your career quicker. Talks about investment strategies, how to build wealth. And if you're 18 and you're working at McDonald's right now, you can be rich. You can be rich. I lay it out in the book, how that works. And then I talk about dating and relationships. And if marriage is your goal, I do talk about marriage in there. Okay. For you guys that are like, all about marriage for whatever reason, guys, definitely check out the Practical Law of Attraction course. Stay tuned to social media. I'll be dropping a 25% discount on social media later today. Get in the beer club, beer.comeonmanpod.com. It's only $10 a month. It's a good group of dudes. And then if you want to work with me directly, you can do so if you go to coaching.comeonmanpod.com. That's all I have. We will see you guys on Rule 0 tomorrow.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. Now, go out and get it.